Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, this reading tonight is a requested one. Trumbull requested this one. I'm going to do my best with it. I've spent quite a bit of time today reading about it, and I'll give you what I think about it first, and then we'll go into the tarot and see what the tarot has to say. Right, this is about the Crime and Policing Bill, and as I understand it, Trumbull wants to know more about the section of this bill that is to do with respect orders. This bill is 300 pages long, and I've trawled through it today, and in all honesty, I find it really, really difficult to accept that we need all these new laws, because we've already got laws in place that deal with a lot of this stuff. It's just that those laws aren't being enacted. That's the issue. In some areas, new laws, I suppose, are necessary in some way, particularly around the creation of child abuse images using AI. And they're going to make it an offence to make child exploitation images using AI, and also it's going to be an offence to be in possession of instructions on how to use AI in order to make these images. The bill really seems to be in three main bits, and it would be sexual crime and stalking. There are some tweaks to the stalking laws. What's the other one? Organised crime. They're going to make cuckooing an offence full stop, rather than cuckooing being an offence just for people who have taken over a vulnerable adult's home in order to make and distribute drugs. It's going to be, cuckooing is going to be an offence across the board, about time. And then the third part to this is the antisocial behaviour and retail crime part of that, which incorporates the respect orders. Now, I don't even know if this bill's gone through, because as far as I'm aware, this bill was put before Parliament about 4 months ago. So I don't know where we are in the process. I don't know if it's gone to the Lords and it's been kicked back with amendments, or whether it's not got there yet. I actually don't know. But it is worth saying that some of the recommendation in the Alexis J report, the ICSA report, are going to be incorporated under this sexual crime and stalking section of this crime and policing bill. But I don't know why they need a 300-page bill, why they can't just amend the already existing laws. We've got so many laws now, it's confusing. And like I said, we've already got laws in place, they're just not being enacted. They're just not being acted upon. And anybody who's been around for any length of time can see that antisocial behaviour rules have applied and have been on the statute books for many years. Right. On saying that, these respect the respect laws basically mean that any public institution, the police, the local council, housing companies, all that kind of thing, adult services, all that kind of thing, can apply for a respect order against an individual under the antisocial behaviour and retail crime law. And as a consequence, you don't necessarily, if someone's going to make an application to the court to have respect orders placed upon you, for instance, you wouldn't necessarily know that those respect orders had been placed on you. And then you're going to be subject to restrictions. You can be restricted for any length of time deemed by the court from certain places. You can be restricted altogether from things like the internet, going into local communities, interacting with named individuals, banned from driving, banned from owning any kind of, like owning a bike, which is tied into the shoplifting thing. You know, a lot of these shoplifters, particularly in London, and the phone crime, they're driving around on electric bikes and they're basically snatching people's phones out their hands and driving straight off. So it's in place. I believe the heart's in the right place, but in my humble opinion, we already have laws already on the statute books that would tackle this particular thing. They just need some things, parts of them tightening up. Some parts of our laws need discarding altogether. But it just means that if, and the thing is, the whole crux of the whole thing about these respect orders is, it's not about you've been a little scrote and you've been driving everybody mad all night. It's also through perception. So someone could have a respect order placed upon you because they perceive that you may do something. It's the hurty word thing all over again. Being what's the word? Offended. So you can have a respect order placed on you, even if you haven't offended anybody, just by someone perceiving that you may offend somebody in the future. You can have basically an ASBO placed on you, an antisocial behaviour order. But the powers and the restrictions go way beyond what they ever were before. So I don't know whether it's been I actually don't even know if this has come through Parliament, but it's someone who asked me last night in the comments to do this one. And I knew it had gone through quite a while ago. I don't know whether it's gone through to the House of Lords. I don't know whether they're still backwards and forwards in with it. I've no idea. I don't know where we are with it. But like I say, I'm going to do a reading on that and see where we are. We've got 2, so I'm just going to channel some Reiki to them and see which one. That one. Breathe and breathe. I might only make this a really, really quick one tonight because I've been in the hospital all night last night and I'm tired. I'm okay. I'm just really tired because I had no pigging sleep. So I really do need to. So I won't be in the live chat tonight because I will be going to bed as soon as this is uploaded. Breathe in the upright. You have worked long and hard. Your dreams are coming to fruition and you want to hurry things along. You are the slow one moving languidly, yet still progressing right now in a rhythm dictated by your authentic nature, the essence of your dream and the will of the universe. Slow and steady wins the race. You will indeed win if you relax, stay the course and trust your intuition and breathe. I think that's really good. That's really good advice. I have to be honest, because I think we've had in the last year, well, longer than a year, but in particularly in this last year, we've had so much stuff going on and so many different things that have hit us. You know, the government's done so many different things, some of them actually quite shocking, some of them really, really worrying. And this crime and policing bill is no exception. It is potentially very worrying. We could have ordinary people being subject to respect orders with sanctions put upon them, and they wouldn't even necessarily know they've got those sanctions. So if you've got sanctions and you don't know you've got sanctions, and you breach those sanctions not knowingly, you can still go to prison for 2 years. So it's like, it's this whole crime and policing bill, with the exception of one or two things, is an utter complete waste of time. It's a waste of it's a waste of another bill, because we already have laws to a large extent to tackle this anyway. So tonight's tarot, I don't think I said it, is the Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine. Now, I may get distracted by these cards because I do tend to rely on what the images are saying to me, along with my intuition, my guides, if you like, say. And because these cards do have a little explanatory note running along the bottom, I tend to read the stuff, even though it does not helpful to me. I am an avid reader, so I'm immediately drawn to the writing. So it makes me flap a bit when I'm reading with these cards, because they make me second guess myself, because quite often what it says at the bottom isn't what's coming out of my mouth. And that's a me thing, really. I just need to accept that people in the comments are going to go, that card means this. Yes, I know. I read intuitively, and I might cock this one up because this one's got writing on the bottom. But I do know that a lot of people possess these cards, and I know that some of my subscribers do get the cards out that I'm working with, and they actually pull cards along at the same time that I do, which is very helpful. Anybody who's learning tarot, or anybody who's interested in the way some people read and how they've come to those conclusions, if you like. So flipping heck, come on. And then I forgot they were so large. Oof, flipping heck. Right. Have we got all those in shot? I'm not sure if we have. Right, so we've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Hanged Man in reverse. We've got the Page of Wands in reverse. And we've got the Five of Cups straight out the gate. So this Page of Pentacles, possibly this bill does present some opportunities. So it could be that there are some opportunities coming with this bill. It might be an opportunity to highlight the amount of law we've already got in existence. There are a lot of people sitting in Parliament today. They've got extensive legal knowledge. Surely between them, I know they have specialisms like criminal law, family law, property law, all that kind of thing. But surely between them, they're going to be able to turn around and go, actually, that's in that law, that's in that law. Rather than write a brand new law, if we're going to do that, we need to scrap this law. We just seem to be getting more and more and more laws, and no one seems to know how to enact them. The police don't enact the laws. Well, they do, but it's normally the hurty words ones, because there's no chance of anybody getting hurt, is there? If you're going to go to somebody who said something on Facebook, who was in the 50s, who was basically just telling it like it is, they're not likely to kick up a stink and bring out, 150 boys with baseball bats to cave your head in. So they're picking up the easy ones, the non-crime hate incidents, perceived offence. And actually these respect laws do write perceived offence and perceive that you may harm somebody going forward. So you can actually have a respect order without even having a conviction. But if you breach those respect orders, even if you don't know you've got a respect order on you, you will go to prison for 2 years. How's about that one? So we've got a major issue with free speech. Anyway, I've digressed again. So we've got this Page of Pentacles. it is presenting as some kind of opportunity in a positive way. And then we've got the Hanged Man in reverse. Now, the Hanged Man is someone who's looking at things from a different perspective. Sometimes it means self-sacrifice, but in this way, I'm seeing this as like, I'm seeing the card as it is. It's upside down, but because this person is, look, that way around, you've got the hangman hanging upside down. But even so, when you put it the right way around, you can still see it as an upright. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. But I'm seeing that there's an opportunity, but this opportunity is being frittered. This person's got their hands up in the air and they're losing the coins. You know what I mean? And I'm losing your marbles. So there's an opportunity, but at the same time, there's also an opportunity to just make the legal system even crazier than it already is. There's absolutely, with this page of wands in reverse, there's absolutely no spark for this bill. There's no enthusiasm for it among most of the population. I'm not sure about the political parties, and I'm not sure how much the political parties have actually taken much notice of what's within those. And I don't know who's for the respect order part of it. Now, years ago, we used to have antisocial behaviour orders. Police would slap antisocial behaviour orders on people for, I don't know, driving round on dirt bikes, you know, round backs of people's houses, and loud music and drugs going off in the middle of the night every night and stuff like that. And they stopped doing them, although they are still in place. They stopped doing them because the people who were slapped with the antisocial behaviour, it was almost like a badge of honour. So it's an issue with morality. It's an issue to do with manners and upbringing. And rather than put more laws into place, we need to be tackling the issue of lack of manners, lack of upbringing, lack of knowledge, lack of decorum, lack of self-awareness as well. And then we've got the Empress. We've got the pages. We've got I've got a feeling we're going to have a lot of pages in this. I'm going to have all the pages in this reading. We only need one more, and we've got them all. So there is something quite young, naive about this bill, which is telling me that it's not going to work. It feels like it's going to go the same way as the antisocial behaviour orders. Slapping kids with antisocial behaviour orders made them into the, cock of the north, the big I am, a badge of honour, well revered amongst their community for being a dickhead, basically. But it feels that way. And then we've got renewal, which I believe is judgment. And then that one's flown out, the wheel in reverse. So I'll put that to one side because I will use it. So we've got the Empress. So we've got this opportunity for a new project. The danger is they're just going to let this opportunity slip out their hands. This opportunity to revise. I'm seeing these books as law books. There's an opportunity to revise a huge set of laws to make them more simple. But there's also the danger of them losing control of that. But with the Empress, it's like this project, this bill could be quite successful. It's looking at it, it's almost like it's going to be successful. And in some respects, some of the laws that have been are in this bill, some of the amendments, some of the sections that are in this bill are very protective. particularly of children. It doesn't go anywhere near far enough. It really doesn't. And we'll have to see where that goes, where it comes to how this law treats, whether this law would actually treat all people of all stripes, colours, ethnicities, religions the same. And I think that might be where this is coming from, this hangman. It might be there's an opportunity to do this, fairness, and it to be successful, but there's also this grave danger of it being very one-sided, shall we say. And then between this frittering of an opportunity and lack of enthusiasm for the bill amongst the populace, we've got this young Page of Swords, which is quite transformative. And I'm saying that because he's got the butterflies around him. Butterflies equal transformation. It's like it's almost like it's generating new ideas. There's a lack of enthusiasm, but because there's a lack of enthusiasm, it's sort of generating new thought, if you like. It's sort of refreshing the judicial system. That's all I've got to say about that. It feels like I'm not sure this bill's going to go through in its entirety. I can't tell you yet. I might not be able to tell you at all. I'm only reading potentials. But it feels like this particular bill feels like the straw that broke the camel's back. It feels like we don't need any more laws. We need to deal with the ones we've got and amend with the ones we've got. And this Page of Swords feels like this is the lack of enthusiasm and the danger of losing the grip. And then this person's coming in saying, right, you've lost the plot. Let's start from scratch. We can deal with this. It's an intellectual challenge. Let's get on with it and get it done. And then between this lack of enthusiasm and this Five of Cups, focusing on the negative, which I think a lot of us tend to do, and who can blame us really? We've had a year of absolutely nothing positive coming our way. It's just been bad news all along for us. This lack of enthusiasm and this negative attitude towards anything that happens. We then come in with this angel of renewal. We are going to go in a different direction with this bill, and I think this bill is not going to be the same bill that was first presented. I think it's going to go in a different direction, and I think the protection order part of that is going to go in a different direction. It feels like they're going to start to listen and take notice to the very people that they despise, us. Because the very people that they despise are the ones who have the power to vote them in or out next time. Now, they've cocked up massively for the first year, and they've still got 4 years to go. So maybe they've decided or realised, actually, we are not going to do very well unless we actually start listening to the people, even if it goes against what they actually want for us. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune between the Empress and the Page. So between this possibility of success, if you like, and this bringing in of a new intellectual process, a new legal process, we've got the wheel. Now, the wheel's not turning in this one. There's no fresh start here. It's stuck. When the wheel's in the upright, it's you, right, things are moving. We'll take a gamble. Let's take a gamble and we'll dip our toe into this river and see if we can get gold out of it. Do you know what I mean? But when the wheel's in reverse, it's a stagnant energy. So it does feel like this bill, including the respect orders, it is stagnant. But this middle card, this Page, It's something new. There's some new ideas coming out, and it's whether the old school politicians, the old school politics, the old way of doing it, the old institutions that do not want to let go of those institutions. There's this breakthrough here with this Page of Swords. I do feel like the old institutions are getting ever closer to their demise, and this is why we are feeling the pain, because when something's dying, it lashes out before it takes its last gasp, and I believe that's what's happening right now, not just in the UK, but in places all over the world. But there is hope here with this Page of Swords. There's too many. Just give me one, please. There's definitely hope with this Page of Swords. And with the renewal card, with the Judgment card. People are waking up. And you see, the thing with this Page of Swords is this is new energy. This is a new way of thinking, new legal systems, cutting out the shit. And because people have woken up to it, people are now taking notice of politics, the type of people who never took notice of politics before. Both of them, Chariot and the Queen of Swords. So yeah, so this old energy, this old bill's stagnant, it's not moving. We've got this new force coming in, promising the people who are waking up and actually taking responsibility for who they vote for knowing things about politics. There's far too many people out there go, I can't be arsed, they're all the same. You know, you might not be arsed, but your can't be arsedness and your lack of vote is what's got us into this position in the first place, because no fucker voted last time, or not many of us did, which is why Labour can brag a landslide, 20% of the population voted. And then we've got these two here, and then we've got the Chariot. There is new coming. Have you not noticed quite a few times in my readings over the last few weeks, we've got this old here sticking to the guns, and then we've got all this new stuff on the horizon, all stemming from this middle card, this Chariot. Balancing, there's light and dark. We've got a light and dark unicorn here. This Chariot is moving forward with determination, is balancing out the good and the evil, more balanced. Swords are about the mindset and weighing up the odds. Bringing clarity. And then we've got this Chariot, balancing good and evil. And then the potential outcome is the Queen of Swords. And this is also transformative. You see, she's got the sword, he's got his sword, she's got the butterflies as well. And she doesn't look like the Queen of Swords that would literally have your head off, would chop your head off with a tongue. This is someone who is interested in balance. It's about bringing things back to balance. Air signs are very good at balancing up the odds, and often that's why they're really shit at making decisions, particularly Libra, and this is the Libra card, the Queen. But the Queen of Swords is normally quite judgmental, judgy, when she's got her echoes up. But I'm seeing this one as this Queen of Swords about to knight somebody. And I know we don't have a queen on the throne, but I'm seeing this queen about to knight somebody. And she's looking at this wheel that's stagnant. And she's between this wheel and this chariot. Stagnant energy. I think she's wielding a sword towards the stagnant energy and forcing it forward. So I would say be aware of the respect orders. Start looking at stuff if you don't already. See where we are in that process. But as far as I'm aware, you can have respect orders placed against you for perceived and possible, someone could say, I believe this person might hurt somebody with her hurty words, and then the local council or the police or your landlord, if you live in a social housing, can trundle off to the court and get respect orders put in place for you. I believe that also extends to your right to live in a social housing property. So it's the thumb screws are getting ever tighter. But I say, know your rights, know where you stand, know where we are in this process, but never, never, never be afraid to open your gob, because there'll be so many of us that do get into trouble. So many of us will. There aren't enough prison spaces to put the entire native-born British population in. They can't afford to feed us and shelter us all, for a start. And there you go. And apparently these respect orders, funnily enough, these respect orders won't stop you going to work. So you can still pay your taxes, but you might get your phone switched off and your internet switched off, and you might not be able to use your car, and you might not be able to go into town to do your shopping, but you still can go to work. How's about that one then? Total bullshit. But we just need to have our eyes wide open, and we need to take a lot of this with an absolute pinch of salt, because this too shall pass. Anyway, I'm off, and I'll see you later. Probably were a right load of bollocks, that, because can you tell I'm tired? Anyway, I'm off. I'll speak to you later. Take care. Ta-ra. Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, today's cards will be, the Oracle will be Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and the Tarot will be read from the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Welch-Stein. Before I start, I just want to say a few things. I just want to put a few things straight right now. Yes, I am a tarot reader. Yes, I am an intuitive tarot reader. Yes, I'm also human, and I have opinions. You may not agree with my opinions, and as far as I'm concerned, that is okay. We can still agree to disagree, and if you find my opinions so abhorrent, then maybe this channel's just not for you. I have had one particular person feel it very, very necessary to tell me that they think that I am all over the place, and that my views on the royal family are not tolerable. Fine, that's absolutely fine, and that person has unsubscribed. That's also absolutely fine. I think in this day and age, with what's going off, this is my opinion. My opinion on the whole thing is that if we cannot have different views and still get on, then we're lost. We are very, very lost. I have my opinions, yes I do. I won't describe myself as left-wing or right-wing. I just have my particular views on how I see the world and how I see things possibly not being fair. In my opinion, some things are very unjust, very unfair. And I'm also open to change my mind on that. But if we won't enter in dialogue and have conversation without one-upmanship or my daddy's bigger than your daddy bollocks, then we're in a very grave place altogether. On saying that, the subscribers have gone up quite a few since the last reading, and I have to thank you all for that. For those of you who are my die-hard subscribers, I will always be eternally grateful to you for that. And I know some of my die-hard subscribers don't always agree with me. That's not what makes the world go round. Everybody in agreement. If that happened, then it would be a very boring world indeed. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. If you don't like my style of delivery, you don't have to be here. If you don't like my opinions and it's that bad that you can't stand it, you don't have to be here. But if you wish to be here, I would be very grateful for that, and it would make me feel a hell of a lot better if I know that the people who are here because they want to hear what I've got to say, whether they agree with it or not. So, this reading, I'm going to name it 2.4 billion. Why am I going to name this reading 2.4 billion? Right, well, as always, or as usual, I have not been listening to the news or watching the news or anything like it. Subscribers email me things that they see that they wish for me to read on. This is a requested reading, and no, I'm not going to tell you that person's name because they wish to remain anonymous. It has been estimated that the amount of illegal immigrants who are being fed and housed and given driving lessons and trips to football and all that kind of thing are also working illegally. But they're working illegally for specific firms. The Just Eat, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and apparently Uber Taxis as well is involved in that. And I think there are one or two more, and I can't remember off the top of my head. And I believe there's a push around the country for us British citizens to boycott these companies because these illegal immigrants are working illegally. So whatever they earn, it's tax-free. They don't have to pay for the roof over their head or struggle to pay for the heating. When I was in meditation today, the biggest thing that I can say, which surprised me a bit because I didn't see it from this angle, I heard modern day slavery. Modern day slavery. Anyway, this video that this person sent to me was of, I believe it was a political commentator stating that for every illegal immigrant that is caught working, that company is culpable for a fine of £60,000. They estimate that there are that many illegal migrants in hotels, etc., working illegally that this would actually add up to the tune of £2.4 billion. There's so many questions to answer over this. If they are earning, why are we paying for their accommodation and their food? If they're earning and someone's taking it off them, why aren't we following the paper trail as to who these people are who have set these people up in work? Apparently, it's easy to do. You get licensed with the Deliveroo and the Uber Eats, and then apparently they sell this license to various people. It's like a pyramid scheme, which I believe is now illegal in this country. Why aren't we going for the people who are registered to work at these companies and have a look at their bank accounts. They can do it with the rest of us when they think we might have had 50p more than we should have done, or if they think we owe them a few quid in tax, why aren't they doing it? So I want to have a look at the tarot and see if the tarot can tell us anything. It will probably just not be a very long reading at all. I've spouted off enough. Can you tell I'm pissed off? I am actually really fed up. I'm so fed up of saying what I think, not just on here, but in life, and literally being shut down as some sort of person who doesn't belong in the spiritual community. I've never belonged in the spiritual community. I've never been part of the spiritual community because I find it elitist. I find it a little bit, I'm better than you. It's all very virtue signaling. Who's the most serene? Who's the most serene? No, we live in two worlds. We live in the spiritual world, the ethereal world, and we've got one foot in this world and we have to live it. We have the King, so we've got the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Wands. Is it just three tonight then? Is it just three? No, we've got the one. And we've got the Two of Cups in reverse. Right, let's have a look at that. So we've got the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is usually disappointment. In the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's someone sat underneath a tree. They're disappointed in their lot. I see this Four of Pentacles very differently. I'm judging by the image. This woman is clinging on to her house. She's behind a gate. She's got not a gate, behind a fence, and the fence is locked. This is knocking everybody out. So I'm seeing this as the migrant hotels, because as far as I am aware, and you can correct me in the comments, I will not get the face on. I will not shoot my mouth off about it. Let's just keep it nice and pleasant. I'm reading this as actually the migrant hotels, because these migrant hotels have security, but they're not the security to keep the residents in order. They're there to keep the public out. If you were to go to a migrant hotel and try and wander in, you would be kicked out. You'd be told it was private property. There's security everywhere, but the migrants are coming and going quite freely. And this video that I saw, they were sort of filming, and there were like loads of Uber Eats, Just Eat, what's the other ones? Deliveroo bikes. So they're basically going out to work and they're coming back, and they can come and go as they please. But the only people being locked out of this equation is us, and we're the ones paying for it. So there is there's a shadow over this one. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest knight in the deck. The person who has to dot the I's, cross the T's. The Knight of Pentacles is the one that won't make a move unless they're absolutely 100% sure that they're doing the right thing. So there's some dilly-dallying going on here. The public are locked out. Therefore, information about what's going on has been locked out. But there's this slow movement towards opening up the information about what has been going on all this time. And I think it was a newspaper reporter that broke the story. However, the story's been going on for quite some time. This has been happening for quite some time. It feels like this is the right time with this Knight of Pentacles. Feels like this has now become the right time to allow this information out, and they're making slow and tentative steps towards blowing this story up. And then we've got the King of Wands. The King of Wands is the King of Fire. It's the King of Wands can be really wrathful and angry, and it feels like there could be, because I'm seeing this wand as you know those sparklers you have on bonfire night. I'm seeing this as like a sparkler. Like, I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of fire over it, a lot of anger over it, that's just going to fizzle out quite quickly, or the fire's going to be put out quite quickly. Something's afoot. And then we've got this Two of Cups. Two of Cups is about partnership, it's about relationship, it's about coming to a good agreement, it's harmony. It's in reverse. So along with this King of Wands and this Two of Cups in reverse, this could be a minor civil unrest that breaks out, fizzles out. But then, you know, when you have a fallout with somebody, you know, like when you're a kid and you have a fallout with somebody, and they might say, I don't know, you've got a big nose or something, and you're still hanging on to that when you're 45. That's what this feels like. It feels like a grudge. There's a huge grudge being created. It's going to fizzle out, but then it's going to bubble under the surface. It's like, I think this is connected to yesterday's reading in some ways, in the fact that I said, I've said it a few times, the minute Keir Starmer's personal life starts being spread all over the broadsheet, that's when his days are up. That's when his time's up. I feel very, very, very positive that he's edging ever closer to that. And I think this revelation about what's going on with the migrant hotels and illegal immigrants being able to work, and at the same time castigating people for not working and trying to take off disability benefits. And I've heard the new thing today is that people who are on PIP can keep the PIP, but new people that want to come on to PIP aren't going to get the same rate. So now we've got two-tier benefits. This country is a powder keg. It's a powder keg. But we don't have to be powder kegs ourselves within ourselves. We don't have to be. We can be angry. I'm absolutely furious about this, because there are so many people out there who are struggling so bad and paying the taxes, working, paying the taxes, can hardly keep the roof over their own head. And then we've got these people getting free food, free board, free all the things that we have to scrimp and save for, and yet they're going out to work. Now, where does this modern slavery come into it? It's my feeling, if you like, that these people are working to pay their passage. So I think these people are working, and the money that they're earning, if it's someone who's got an account with, say, I don't know, Uber Eats, and they've got loads of people working for them on their account, like this pyramid scheme thing, the money's all going to come to them. So surely that's a major link in the gangs, the smashing of the gangs. Why wasn't this done before? So it just feels like fraud, major fraud, and there's billions of pounds being leaked out of our economy because we're paying for the things we shouldn't be paying for. And if these people are being paid, then why aren't they paying for their own bed and board? And why aren't they paying tax like the rest of us? I think they'd find that when they don't get free dental and healthcare whenever they want it, and they've got to find their own food and put their own heating on and all that kind of thing. I think you'll find that they might not like it in the UK because it is like the third world now, because the way that we're so poor now. Anyway, I'll stop going on. So then we've got the King of Cups with the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so what's stopping this progress from going much faster and further is the bleeding heart. I have to say it. It's the bleeding heart people. Oh, but they're so poor. They've come from war zones, blah, blah, blah. And what that Labour MP said the other week, they're mainly women and children. No, they're not. They're fighting-aged young men. And the reason why it's been so slow is because of the bleeding hearts. That's all I'm saying. I think this is going to be a quick reading. I'm so hot. Anyway, with this slow move and then this spark, we've got the Seven of Cups. This is the central. This is the central card. And the Seven of Cups talks about confusion, not knowing which way to turn, not knowing which action to choose. And that's the whole crux of the entire matter. Rather than taking some action, successive governments have been stuck in this stuck in taking no action. But this no action is leading to this spark. I think there's going to be some unrest, but I think it is going to be quite short-lived, but it's going to bubble under the surface. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. She's keeping the fire alive. So yeah, so that's basically that first line is what I said. There's going to be some spark. There's going to be a spark of some action, but it's either the government's going to take some action and they're going to be full of it. Oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other, and they're full of shit, and so they don't take any action. And then this partnership between whoever's between the government and the people breaks down, and it just bubbles under the surface. It's carried on. They've literally ruined us. They've bankrupted the country. They've literally ruined us because they can't make a fucking decision. And then we've got this Queen of Wands keeping this alive, this anger. There's a spark being kept alive. And I'm seeing there's a lot of moths in this picture, and she's got a peacock skirt. So there's some element of showing off going off here. But it's all sort of cloak and dagger. There's a lot of secrecy going on, basically, is what I'm saying. We've got this outward appearance of being really, really show-offy, and yes, we're going to do something. Let's fight the grooming gangs. Oh no, we can't because we don't know which way to turn, and we've got these bleeding hearts that feel sorry for them. And I should imagine most of the bleeding hearts will be the ones that have got their 2.4 kids and the lovely home in Surrey, and nice holiday to Maldives every year, and possibly in Glastonbury right now, having paid the extortionate fee to get in that most of us couldn't afford if we wanted to. Oh, we've got the Tower and we've got the Moon. So with this King of Cups, we've got the Emperor. So along comes this notion that it's time to stop talking. It's time for action, and the Emperor comes along to take action, and then there is an incident. I can see this being a very serious incident. there's going to be a very serious incident that's going to get covered up. And it's going to get covered up because we are being run by an entire government of people who cannot make a decision. So what about this £2.4 billion? Will the government finally fine your Uber Eats and your Just Eat and your Uber taxis and all these? Are they going to start a massive operation to find the culprits and get the £60,000 per illegal worker? I mean, it might just get these massive companies might leave the country. But, you know, do we really need pizza at his door every night? Do we? Do they actually pay that much tax themselves? Usually they don't. And then we have the same card as we had last night. The last card tonight was the first card last night. We have the 7 of Wands. There's going to be a breakthrough. I think there is going to be a breakthrough. But it is going to be... It's going to be an undercover operation. So we're not necessarily going to hear about it until it's all over. But for the time being, what's being said and what's happening are two different things. So what the government are telling us they're going to do, obviously, is bullshit. But what's really happening is happening behind the scenes. There will be an incident. There will be a big incident. There will be attempts to cover it up. But out of that, we'll get a breakthrough. And possibly, I can see that possibly being huge, massive fines being meted out to these companies that have taken on thousands of illegal migrants to do the Uber Eats and the Deliveroos. And like I say, there's a huge campaign starting apparently. I haven't seen anything, but I've been told, so this is secondhand, being told that there is a campaign to boycott Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat, Uber taxis, and I think the other one might be Amazon and all those sorts of things. So if you rely on your shopping coming through the door to you, maybe I get that. However, if you can possibly go and get your own stuff, that would minimise the encouragement of even more migrants coming across the channel. Eventually, those jobs will be completely saturated and there'll be no jobs for them either. So that it's not going to, it can't last forever either way. Let's have a Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Come on. Woo, we've got Yin. Yin. Number 2. Number 2. This is a time when the most effective action is to allow others to show you the way forward. Observe their behaviour and follow their lead. Your desire to push through must take a back seat for now. Collaborate and offer your ideas rather than dictating what must happen. Let others come to you. It's important that they feel they have power now. Another meaning is about releasing your need to have things in the form you want. How do you want to feel basking in your success? Now allow the universe to show you the form. Yin is the sign of essence. Things may go more smoothly than you expect. There you go then. So it might not be as bad as what it is on the surface, because there is something going on in the background. We have a stumbling block which is in, what's the word? Lack of action due to confusion. We've got a few stumbling blocks, but there is going to be one big event, a massive event. I did say this a couple of weeks ago, though, that we're due for a massive event. It will be kept under wraps, but there will be a breakthrough. In the meantime, have faith that what's supposed to be will be. And if you're angry, be angry. And if you've got an opinion, don't be afraid to express it, no matter what other people think about you. Because if we allow ourselves to be silenced for fear of hurting, or fear of upsetting other people's sensibilities, then I'm afraid we've lost our grit and determination. We literally have lost our grit, and it's time to bring it back, no matter what that means. But we need to bring our determination to tell the truth the way we see it, whether that's palatable or not. We live in a harsh, bloody world. And if you melt at the first sign of any obstacle, then we're screwed. So I think it's a case of pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just allow whatever happens to happen, and just do it. But be yourself, be true to yourself, and be honest. And say what you think, regardless of whose sensibilities you're hurting. And I don't mean go around insulting people. I'm saying choose your words carefully, but express your opinion. You're entitled to it, just like everybody else. You're just as valid as anybody else, and your opinions are just as valid as everyone else's. Right, I'm going. Lecture over, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ta-ra. Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, two things before I go on with this reading. If you wish to be in the draw for this little pouch that I made that contains my old faithful Rider-Waite tarot that I had for 15 years, it's all complete. There's a few little tea stains on the backs of them. So you know, might be a bit grubby around the edges. If you wish to receive that, you need to be subscribed. You need to like this video, comment, share, whatever, and comment interested, and I will enter you into the draw. That draw will go ahead when we get to 4,000 subscribers. We're about just over 200 away from that. Subscribers are climbing up very, very slowly. But according to my analytics, almost half of the people that watch my channel regularly don't subscribe. So if you want to just hit that subscribe button, there's a little crown on the bottom right hand corner. You can just click on that to easily subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified. Memberships, if you want to be a member of my channel, which is the memberships are growing slowly also. It's 99p a month. There aren't any other options other than 99p a month. I've made it as cheaply as I possibly can, as cheap as YouTube will allow me to. And for that, you will get lives as and when I'm able to do that, where I will answer your own personal questions or general questions. I'm hoping to do more with that at some point. At the moment, I'm unable to do more than I'm already doing. I just need to figure out a routine so that when I bring these readings out to you and lives for members, etc., that I've got some sort of routine. But then again, there are times when I can't make that routine, so bear with. This reading has been suggested by Amber, who emailed me, saying that there are heavy rumours within the media. I don't know, I haven't watched or listened to anything. There are heavy rumours in the media that Keir Starmer is going to call a general election. Right. Cards for today are the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catherine Veltstein. Oracle cards today are the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Interestingly enough, as I was shuffling the Tarot of Mystical Moments, one card kept flipping out, and that was the Ten of Wands. And I just heard he's bitten off more than he can chew. I think we already know that. Maybe it is a slow, painful death for Starmer. I don't know. My thoughts on it: will he call a general election? My gut feeling is, if he does call a general election, it is because he will not want anybody else in the Labour Party to take the premiership and do a better job. And if he's that narcissistic, we'll find out soon. We'll see what Tarot has to say in a moment. There's lots of talk. I've had lots of other messages as well. There's lots of talk from people saying that they think Andy Burnham's gonna take the top spot. That remains to be seen as well. There are a few things that have to happen before that goes ahead. Either way, we've still got to deal with this Labour Party as it is, and if it's not Keir Starmer, which other incompetent is going to take his place, and are they going to make a worse job of it? Sometimes better the devil you know is a good thing. Right, I'm going to take an oracle card first. So put my carnelian back. So let's have an oracle card. Keir Starmer. Are we looking like a general election? In meditation today on this question, I just feel like massive changes are afoot. And I think it feels very much like it's just gone too far in one direction, and the only way to bring it back to centre is radical change. Whether we get that or not remains to be seen, but now is the time for, if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next few weeks, and it's going to be major change. And I'm seeing the Tower card now, so maybe there's a big shock coming to us all. Maybe there's a big shock coming to the Labour Party. I don't know. I did get an email this morning. I'm not a member of Reform at all, so I don't know why I'm getting emails from Reform, but I did get an email from Reform this morning to say one of the districts in Sheffield, Stocksbridge, has just elected a Reform candidate. So that's the first one for Sheffield. We have no peace, oh, no place like home. Why am I reading that as an E and that as a U? I don't know. But these weird things happen when you are intuitively reading cards. You don't always read what the meaning of the card is. You don't always see what's on the cards. You see what you see. You read what you read. You hear what you hear, and then you deliver it. And that's how it works. The way I do it. No place like home in the upright. Where are we? When you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you're fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So this line is what's jumping out. When you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date. So maybe it's a case of acceptance. So if this is for us, this would be we need to start to accept that things aren't fantastic, and we have to learn to live with it the best way that we can. And if that's a message for Keir Starmer, he needs to accept his journey to date also. So let's have a look. Wisdom of the Oracle. Tarot of Mystical Moments. I love these cards. They are smashing. Let's see what they bring me today in terms of intuitive messages. Right. Okay. That's enough, I'm told. Keir Starmer, is he going to call a general election? We've got the 7 of Wands. We've got the Strength card again. Now, we had the Strength card yesterday. This is a different type of strength. We have the Page of Wands. Next up, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Suella Braverman. Why am I hearing Suella Braverman? Right, well, I'm just gonna let that go in and go out the other ear, and if it comes to me, it comes to me. Right, 7 of Wands. Right now, Keir Starmer is trapped. He's trying to be the strong man, if you like. He's trying to show strength, but he's failing to open the bars to his own imprisonment. He is the architect of his own imprisonment. He's talked himself into a massive corner on several occasions. He is now at this place where he is trapped. Now, that's not usually the meaning of the 7 of Wands, but this is how I'm seeing it today. I see it differently in other readings, but this is how I'm seeing it today. Notice there's I don't know what sort of big cat that is. I don't think it's a lion, possibly a leopard, I don't know. But there's a female here. There's a very strong female presence on his back. He's got females on his back and he's trying to get away from it. Oh, I wonder if this is the cab. Right. Now, so I'm seeing this as him being trapped by female members of the cabinet, cornered. And then this, I'm seeing this is family life. And I'm seeing him as the lion. So I'm seeing him as the wounded lion looking to female members of family to console him, if you like. I think he's coming to some conclusions that he's basically I'm hearing here that he's talked his way into a massive trap, and he's the master, the architect of this trap. He's created this trap, and people have taken advantage of his naivety and his narcissism. I'm hearing they've taken advantage of that in order to beat him at his own game. What's that? Where's that come from? And then we've got the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is not the detective, but I'm seeing this as Sherlock Holmes type detective. And you've got this Page of Wands messengers. I'm seeing this as the media. I think they've been looking very closely at certain situations or decisions made by Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Something's about, either something's already come out today. I genuinely do not know. Either something's come out today that's going to take further investigation. A really deep dive, I'd say. There's someone really looking into something that's happened. I don't know whether it's happened today or it's happened in the past, but it's come up today. Something's come up today. I think it's got something to do with immigration, and I don't know why. But I'm seeing Suella Braverman in this card as well. She does look a little bit like her. Maybe that's why I heard it. But I think there's two things going off here. He's trapped by the female members of the Labour Party. He's put himself in that trap and they've capitalised on it. There's some further investigation going on, some very, very deep dive into something that's either happened in the past that's now come to light about Starmer. It even could be, like I've said on several occasions, the past that he would like to bury for good will come to light when he's on his last ones, and I think people are digging now for that to become a story. And I don't know whether Suella Braverman's going to be instrumental in that, or whether this has got something. This investigation's got something to do with immigration. I suppose Suella Braverman did talk about the fact that we were being invaded, and then she was ousted out of Parliament. She was ousted out of the party, weren't she? Or sacked, or whatever it was. This has got something to do with immigration, but it's also interlinked with Starmer. But that's not the question. I'm wanting to know, is he going to call a general election? So we've got this Seven of Wands. He's trapped, and then he's going home and he's bleating to his missus or the female members of his family or the close people to him, around him. We've got the Magician. Oh, just a minute. I've got a knock at the door. I'll be back in a sec. Right, are we back on? I think we are. Let me just sit down. So where were we? Oh, I've got to go back to the beginning. Right, let me get my head where we were. Right, he's trapped. There's something to do with female members of the Parliament that's capitalised on the fact that he's trapped himself. This Magician. Why am I seeing? I think I'm going to have another couple of cards before I take this, before I start spouting about this Magician, because that could be a trick. It could be underhandedness. It could be someone manifesting his departure. I don't know. Come on, let's have a card for this Magician. Whoa, the Hanged Man. Right. And I've just heard that song, Put a Spell on You, because you're mine. I think it's like that anyway. I don't know who sung it. Makes me wonder whether it's got something to do with that relationship. This information that's deeping diving. It makes me wonder whether there's something, there's a female involved with this. He put himself in that trap, honey trap, I'm hearing. There's a female, and because of that, he has got no choice now but to hang around and hope this information doesn't come out. It's also the card of self-sacrifice. So maybe he's being told, we've got this information on you, put your head on the block and piss off, or we are going to start a war within the Labour Party. The Emperor, the warrior. But this war within the Labour, it's not just the Labour Party. I'm seeing this war within Parliament. It feels like right now we've got Labour and Conservative, and they're very, very similar. Lib Dems are very, very similar. Greens are a bit radical, a bit more radical, if you like, and the SNPs. But we've got this much of a muchness in the Labour Party, and it feels like there's some weeding out of individuals, but he's going to have to put his neck on the his neck on the block here and sacrifice himself for the good of the party. But it feels like there's a fracturing. Where there's two sides, where we've originally known as Conservative and Labour, the two biggest parties, because there's nothing to choose between them. We're going to see people moving sides. So we're going to see a moving round of allegiance. And this Emperor is the orchestrator of it all. He's not the planner, but he's the overseer. I don't know what that means. This magician is a honey trap. This is a honey trap. He's put himself in that position. He's made some choices he probably bitterly regrets now, hoping that it's not going to come out. But he is going to have to sacrifice himself, because it's coming out, and it's going to create not a war, if you like. War is a bit of a stronger word, but it's going to create a lot of confrontation within the Labour Party. We had this one yesterday, the Three of Swords. I think he's going. We have the Ace of Swords, truth. Three of Swords, heartbreak. Ace of Swords, truth, the potential for truth, honesty, justice, mental clarity, an intellectual new beginning. It's new. It's new. This is his going. He's going, but is he going to call a general election? Is there going to be a general election? I might have to get the pendulum out, you know, and do a yes/no with a pendulum and see what that has to say. Is there going to be a general election? Is there going to be a general election this year? It feels like they can't play anymore. This chess, both sides have lost this chess game. Both sides have lost because they've not kept their eye on the ball. They've not. It's like they don't even know what's going on. We've got the Page of Cups. That's an apology to me. Page of Cups is typically, obviously it's a messenger, it's a page, but the page is usually an effeminate male, or someone who is gender non-conforming, if we're talking about a person, a young person. But I see the Page of Cups, this Page of Cups, as an apology. I can see him coming out onto the Downing Street steps and apologising for something that's coming to light. It's an indiscretion, shall we say, a sexual indiscretion. Might be several of them. Can't tell you whether it's a male or a female that's been involved with that. But this Page of Cups is an apology. So I'm wondering if he's going to issue apologies. So let's have a look. Is he going to? I don't know if you can see this. I think I have to hold this higher up and then I have a problem with balance. So let's have a look. Is Keir Starmer going to call a general election? No, he isn't. That's a definite no. No, he's not. So he's not as a narcissistic as people put him down to be. But there is going to be a massive shake-up, and he's going to sacrifice himself in order for, yeah, there's some indiscretion coming out. I think it might be some information that's come out today that's not been dived very, very deeply into just yet. It might just be rumours, it might just be whisperings of something. I don't know because I haven't watched anything. The only thing that I'm watching right now are the things that people send me because of a suggestion. Suggestions for reading, and then they're sending me videos or links to something because I refuse to sit and let it drain my energy. I've got enough shit going on without letting all this stuff drain my energy. So I have a feeling that there is something being uncovered that has something to do with immigration. It might even absolve Suella Braverman from the things that she said, and then she was absolutely she was the scourge of the earth, weren't she, for a while? But there's also a honey trap here. He's going to have to fall on his sword. He's going to have to sacrifice himself for the greater good as far as the party is concerned. But it's also a reputational damage thing for Parliament. He's going to be really upset, but the truth is going to come out, and then he's going to have to come clean and apologise. Whether that means, I think he's going to turn his back on Downing Street. Possibly not possibly not politics. And I mean, if he's that brazen, I mean, I'd probably wander off into sunset. If I had his money, I'd wander off into sunset with my tail between my legs, and I wouldn't not raise my ugly head again. I'd literally go and quietly skip off into sunset and enjoy the rest of my life on what money I've got. Do you know what I mean? Bugger off abroad somewhere and then keep my gob shut. But you know what these people are like, these politicians, they do these things and then they spout off. And they've all got to be involved somewhere along the line. Truth is coming. There's a honey trap involved. There's something to do with immigration, most definitely, which warrants further investigation. Someone's going to have a word in his shell, like, he's going to be really upset about that. Going to have to fall on his sword because the truth's come out, and he's going to have to do some public apologies. But he ain't going to cut it. I'll tell you now, it is not going to cut it. Anyway, that's your reading. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode and another suggested reading from one of my subscribers, one of my members even. So that's it for Straighten Your Crown tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ta-ra! Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. I've had about 3 days off. And I've not watched any news at all. I've had a few people email me with things that are going on in the world. But I've disengaged for a few days because I needed to. This reading is basically being brought about by the ever-increasing noise from media that Keir Starmer is about to get kicked out of office. and that the Labour Party's days are numbered. So I've been saying Keir Starmer would be gone by Christmas. He didn't go. Can't remember what I said after that. He still ain't gone. I'm not sure if he is going to go. But I'm going to look at the cards. What I will say is, if he is ousted out as Labour Party leader, I'm at an absolute loss as to who will take his place. And yet I'm not, because it's clear that Andy Burnham is jockeying for position. Not so sure whether that's a good move either, considering his involvement or lack of, should I say, involvement in the investigation of the grooming gangs in Manchester. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Roger Mears' channel and have a look at what real evidence Roger Mears got on this subject. So this tarot reading is basically just a quick ask. Are they on their way out? Or maybe will Starmer actually make it to a year in office? Don't know. So I'm going to start with the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and I have the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann today. If anybody's got any suggestions for readings, if you are a member of my channel, then I will take those suggestions and I will write them down and I'll try and pick them off. If you're not a member, I will look at doing those readings after I've done the members' readings first. So that's the way it works. Or that's the way it's going to work on my channel anyway. So let's have a look. Is Keir Starmer going to make it to a full year as Prime Minister? And is the Labour Party doomed? Sayonara, Starmer. Don't let the door kick you in the arse on your way out. Let's see. Let's move those to one side a minute. Let's see. Is he a goner? He's clearly not suitable for position. He's not capable of doing the job. And thanks to Gary, one of my members, who sent me an email earlier today with a link to a talk that Dominic Cummings has done, relating to just how impotent our old system of democracy is, and who holds who wields the real power. Right, so we've got 21, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Do you remember that film, The Field of Dreams, with Kevin Costner? If you build it, they will come. It was about baseball, I think. And if he kept hearing that if he built this baseball pitch, all the famous baseball players would come and play, like Babe Ruth and all them kind of things. Field of Dreams, number 21. This is the perfect time to harness the field of vast potential not yet realised in your life. Great abundance is yours if you are willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful. For your talents are divinely inspired and will need to lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. You will reap what you have sown. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life and experience the extraordinary. Oh, that sounds like a manifestation card, that. So, if you want Starmer and the Labour Party out, you're going to have to do what the Native Americans were always taught to do and dream it into being. Right then, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Field of Dreams. Manifesting alongside the gentle gardener. And then I've just heard, is Keir Starmer a gentle uphill gardener? Oh, naughty, naughty. I think scandal's going to... I said before, I think, before he's shuffled out of office, all the scandal that they've got on him, all the dirt they've got on him is going to come out. And I don't know whether any of it's come out yet, because I've not been watching the news or listening to the news or anything at all. I've just been getting on with life the best I can. And let's see, we've got strength. Okay. We've got the Empress. This is very manifestation-y as well. We have the Six of Cups. Strange enough, I think we had those last time. Ten of Swords. Oh. Right. Strength. Strength card. The Leo card. This is about having the will, if you like, to overcome obstacles through basic willpower. This strength is telling me it's about going within, listening to what it is that you really think and feel, and fight for it. Have the will to stand your ground. This is about standing your ground, having the strength of the power in your own convictions. So, where the Labour Party is concerned, with this card, it appears that there's not necessarily a power in their convictions. It's almost like they don't know what their convictions are. They don't know what they want to achieve. It's like this is a lamb here, okay? And this woman is half wolf. But the side that the lamb is on is gentle and nurturing. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm reminded that they say Jesus was the Lamb of God. Something like that. I'm not a highly religious person, but it's almost like the image they're presenting is nurturing, looking after this poor lamb. I suppose if you like, you could see us as the poor lamb, the working classes, those of us who are really struggling to make ends meet, which is probably most of us by now. And showing that side, we've got your back and all that, but in actual fact, they haven't. It says that this is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's how I'm viewing this strength card today. I'm also seeing what looks like carnelian at the solar plexus here. So, and the solar plexus is about will. Carnelian is a sacral chakra stone. It's a root chakra stone. Sorry. carnelian. This is carnelian. It's a root chakra stone. This is about safety and security, and it's at the solar plexus. The will for safety and security. It's not there. This is a rogue government. We know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but I'm seeing a lot in this card today. I'm seeing ever such a lot in this card today. Besides which, I'm also seeing the infinity symbol on her arm, which tells me that they will forever be a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're not for looking after the meek and mild. They're after the for whatever it is they think before. I don't think this is all a very confused card. It's almost as if they don't know what they're all about. This party, this government, don't know what they're about. They don't know what they want to achieve. They don't know how they're going to achieve it. Half of them, they've got sort of the willpower, but they don't know what direction they're going in because they don't know who they are, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. And then with that, we've got the Empress, which is the mother of all things. It's the earth, it's Gaia, it's Mother Gaia, it's Taurus and Libra. Two major cards. It's Taurus and Libra. It's nurture, it's safety, it's security. This is pretending to offer safety and security. This is safety and security. So we've got opposing powers here. And notice the moon is inextricably linked to this earth in the womb here via these white dots around the edges. Very feminine card. It's the harvest. It's almost like these two together are there is a turning the back on this system, this government. There is a collective turning back, their back on this particular government, and it feels like a whole new world opening up that holds the promise of safety and security, food safety, food security, nurture, the harvest, very feminine energy here. So it does feel like with these two cards alone, this is a very confused government, and there's this potential for a completely new way of doing things. And I don't think it involves seasoned politicians of any stripe. I can't see, and I've said it before, no one is coming to save us. I've said it in a lot of videos. No one is coming to save us. We cannot revere particular people and expect them to save us from this. We have to take part in that what's the word? In that mission. In the mission to save us, we have to be prepared to save ourselves, and that's where this comes from. And then we've got this Six of Cups, which is screaming loyalty at me right now. It's screaming loyalty at me. The Six of Cups normally talks about looking back to the past, to the good old days. And I suppose this picture does depict that, you know, this man with the dog, and he's all grown up now and the dog's older, being best pals for life. This is a loyalty situation. However, I'm not seeing that in these cards today. I'm seeing this as like there is a potential for us to become much more even-handed, much more fair and just, a much better, more nurturing, secure society. And it boils down to the loyalty within communities, all communities to stick together. It feels like that. You know, look at this, even the bowls have grown from small to really big. It's like, and yet they've been together all the way through life. It's like not forgetting your community. Don't forget, don't leave anybody behind. Why am I getting that for this reading? Why am I getting that for this reading, please? Okay. So I'm being told I'm getting that because we're getting to the time where we will have a choice. And we have to, we don't have to, we have a choice between following wolves in sheep's clothing, and to me that's all political parties, all the political parties, and an understanding that none of them are coming to save us. It's a choice between that and actually working it out for ourselves. I'm wondering whether we're going to go to smaller, rather than having one big central parliament, whether that's going to be more like like co-ops, people living in co-ops, perhaps. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing out of this. And then we've got the Ten of Swords, which is endings. It's betrayal. The Rider-Waite tarot deck, the Ten of Swords, is someone laid prone on the floor with 10 swords in the back. There's a betrayal coming here. So I am wondering actually whether the Labour Party is, some of the Labour Party MPs are actually going to betray the party, or whether they're going to betray us again. It's either, I mean, I'll have to get more cards out to actually get an answer to that, but there's major betrayal coming in on the cards. And it feels like intellectual betrayal. So it feels like the people that have blindly followed, and I have to be more general rather than just the Labour Party with this reading, it's just more general than that. The people who blindly followed and put their trust in political parties, whether it's Tory, Labour, Tory, Labour, Lib Dem, Greens, whatever, Reform, whatever, there's a sense of betrayal from them all. None of them are perfect. None of them will ever be perfect because it's impossible. But it feels like some people, or a lot of people, are going to start to feel betrayed by them all. Like at last minute, it feels like a last minute betrayal. Then we've got the Seven of Swords. The Five of Pentacles. I'm just checking from Reiki to see which one. Definitely that one. Three of Swords. I'll put those to one side in case they're due for the next row. In fact, shall I put them down in the next row? Ten of Pentacles and the Full. Right, I'll test them with Reiki first. So we've then got the Seven of Swords. We've got this sheep in wolf's clothing, making offers they can't keep, making offers they don't keep, not keeping promises, pretending to be altruistic, and then on the other hand they're not. And then we've got this potential for a much more nurturing, democratic, everybody getting along nicely, secure world or country, if you like, or set of countries, if you like. And then we've got the Seven of Swords, which is the thief in the night. So we've got some sabotage going on here. It feels like there's going to be some shenanigans within Parliament in order to shut down the ones who are the most promising, which I would say would be depicted by the Empress. So it's I would say this is a political party that is the best of a bad bunch, if you like. They're not perfect, but they're still what they're promising. Don't forget, keep it in your mind, whatever these are promising, they will betray you in the end. But it feels like there's some underhand stuff, there's definitely some underhand stuff going on. Someone's taking information from this Labour Party and taking it to this party that's presenting itself as all singing, all dancing, best political party, everybody loves them. And then between the Empress and this loyalty card, there's an issue here with loyalty with this party. There's a massive issue with loyalty. We have the Five of Pentacles. So we've got some information being spread from this Labour Party. I'm saying this is I'm seeing this as reform. I've got to say it. Someone's on the inside taking information to this party that's been revered as the saviour of the UK, right? So there's some sabotage going off in the background. There's also an issue with loyalty. I'm saying it's an issue with loyalty because in the middle of these two cards, we've got the Five of Pentacles being kept out in the cold, locked out. This is scarcity. This is poverty. This is feeling isolated, impoverished, starving. That's the kind of thing. So this all singing, all dancing party is not fabulous either, because there's some underhandedness going on and they are locking people out. Now, I could be reading this wrong. This could also be the Labour Party that's presenting itself as strong-willed, looking after the people, we'll keep you safe and secure, we're really, really loyal to the working class. I think it's more of that. There's some sabotage going off in the background. Yeah, MPs don't want Keir Starmer and the front bench where they are because they're absolutely appalling. And then we've got this promise we're loyal to the working classes. Now I've got this next row of cards, it's coming more clear. There's an issue with loyalty in the Labour Party. And then between this loyalty and this betrayal, we have the Three of Swords. Ten of Swords and Three of Swords together is a death. If I get the death card as well, it is a death. And I'm being told not to take these cards. So it does feel like they are in the throes of being annihilated, if you like. It's almost as if once the Labour Party has been passed over, they're not going to recover from this. Not until what they've done now goes out of living memory. So they're going to have to do some I don't know what they're going to do, because they just don't have any talent in their party. Neither do the Conservatives. Reform only have a few people in their party, but I'm still seeing Reform in this card and in this card as well. I still think there is an issue with loyalty within Reform. There has been some betrayals in Reform as well. but I've asked to read on Labour. So is Keir Starmer going? You see, so what you've had with this reading is you've had in real time the mental processes of doing a tarot reading. Don't always say it out loud. I'm too tired not to. So you are going to get my thoughts. Oh, here we go. What about that? Death. Right, so we've got the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. We've got some sabotage going off. We've got people being locked out. I don't know whether they're locked out because of disloyalty or whether the party's been disloyal to them and they've been locked out, shut out of the party. I don't know. But the Labour Party are putting up their defences. They're putting up barriers. But she did this and it weren't me, and the deflection tactics. This is what I'm seeing in the Nine of Wands. You know, when we don't see Starmer at question time very often, but when we do see Starmer at question time, somebody will ask him a question and he'll go on about this trust. This is what this is. But this is the death throes of the Labour Party. They are in the death throes. We have the Ten of Swords, the Three of Wands, Three of Swords, and the Death card. Endings, death and rebirth. Endings signalling new beginnings. Endings signalling new beginnings. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. Physical death. The Labour Party is dead. And one last. We've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So the Nine of Pentacles in the upright, I often call the single lady card. Lots of people call it the single lady card. This is someone who is self-sufficient, able to take care of all their needs, very amicably, very, very well indeed. You know, the white picket fence, the roses round the door, all that kind of thing. That's the Nine of Pentacles. It's in reverse. Unable. It's dead because it's unable to keep us secure. It's unable to keep our heads above water. It's unable to keep us financially afloat, and it's now dead in the water. So is Keir Starmer going? And I'm going to do the pendulum tonight. Is Keir Starmer, and I'm not sure whether you can see this. I'll just wait for it to settle. Normally when it starts to settle, it starts to sort of bob up and down slightly. It's not settling at the moment. I'm trying to hold it as still as possible. Is Keir Starmer going? I don't know if you can see this, but it's saying maybe. I need to ask a different question. Will Keir Starmer be gone before the 4th of July? Will Keir Starmer be gone before the 4th of July? That's a no. Bloody hell. Will Keir Starmer be gone for Christmas? That's a yes. So according to my pendulum, Stormer's hanging on till he's hanging on. So my only guess would be that there is some sort of coup, some sort of what would they call it? Vote of no confidence, or whatever they do with the Labour Party, and they will select a new leadership person. But he will be gone for Christmas. I said he'd be gone for last Christmas. Maybe I got the wrong Christmas. I don't know. And maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but it's all for entertainment purposes. Right, I am going, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. Take care all. Ta-ra!